Okay, streaming, good. I'm going to switch on Karnak so you can see all my keystrokes. And
Is
you'll
that also a Windows?
no, it's a secondary thing. Okay, so cool. All we have to do now, I'll start this in 3D view or ground floor. So let's just go to, is it ground floor that you're working in? You just need to fix those
Yeah,
levels.
ground floor.
Ground floor. Okay, ground floor, good. So in ground floor, all I'm going to do very quickly is I'll actually start the stair. Where does the stair start on ground floor?
It starts from there.
Where this arrow comes in.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go to architecture, we're going to go to stair. Now, stair, good. Now, we're going to start with the very basic stair to make sure that this works. We can tweak this at the, so we're going to start with run, we're going to say center, and for now, I'm going to put in, we'll leave that as is, because I'm going to explain. So I'm going to go from there to there, then I'm going to go from there to there, then I'm going to go from there to there. Okay, now, I'll explain what's going on. This has reached the right level. So now you need to work out, but now, how wide do you want these stairs? I'm going to use dimension DI.
It's about
Just check. So let's say 2 meters. So I'm going to change all of these to 2000. And you'll see what will happen is each stair that we select now will automatically start fixing. You see what it's doing?
yeah.
Okay, and let's just say finish. For now, I've built the first bit of the stair. So in 3D view, so start with your stair. But your floor to ceiling heights are quite low, and I need to find out why they're so low. So I need to fix your 3D extents of your levels, because if you go through a section, you're not going to see them. So basically, in top view, all I'm going to do is I'm going to start with I'm going to add a view, I'm going to add a scope box. Okay, so on ground floor, I'm going to say I want a scope box, and I want that scope box around there because I want all my levels and that all to work in that zone. A scope box manages levels, those types of things. Here's my scope box. Now I take it to the top and take it to the bottom. See what I've done? Select one level, right click and select all instances in project. Then in here, properties. I'm going to tell it, you see this, it says extends. I can drive it by my scope box, and guess what happens? Fixes it. Now I can delete that. I don't need that anymore.
Yeah, you don't.
Gone. Now, that'll help me now when I want to work in these levels. If I cut a section through there, so if I go back to ground floor, and this cut a section, you need to start working with sections, so that set up your sections early on, because your sections will show you
What I'm
the levels. So now, guess what? The levels are working nicely. Now, so this level, it's too low. I'll explain why.
Okay.
Detail lines. I'm using drafting elements. Annotate. I'm just drafting now. I'm drafting to see, and this will be a working section. I'm drafting to get the basics in place before I start populating with the detail. Drafting allows you, like an AutoCAD, that's what AutoCAD was good at. You can quickly put something together in line work and see if it works accurately. So, detail line. So in detail line, I'm going to use thin line or just line. It's a green line. So I'm going to go DI, and I'll leave this dimensions in here, I'll explain. And I'm going to add another dimension here, because this is say my service zone. So click this dimension, and I'm going to snap it to the underside of the slab. That needs to be 600. Aubrey gave you guys a service zone.
Yeah.
Now you've only got 2.2. So imagine the ceiling being at 2.2. It's too low. So to fix that, DI, I'm going to add dimensions to these. I'll explain why I'm doing this. I'm going to use a command equal. So now they're equal. I'm going to use another dimension. Now, how you actually need, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this dimension. This guy, you want this 2 4, let's make it 2 4 2 3. So you need to gain how much? And let's create a detail line to the underside of the slab. But now remember, DI, I'll explain, we're going to do a bit of maths here. This needs to be 255 plus 600 equals 2. So your underside of slab needs to be, no, that's in total, including the slabs, at 400. So this needs to move DI
So it's about 0.6.
195. Make sure it's around dimensions. So this needs to move by 195. Yeah, so that, watch this, equals to, guess what? They're all adjusted. Okay. So now you've got enough zone.
This looks so easy.
No, I've done this. I've done this hundreds and thousands of times. Okay, this takes a bit of practice. It's like riding a bicycle. You just got to keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. Every day practice. Now I've got a surface zone, but let's just check this round dimension. I would rather have this more of a. Now you've got to consider that there's brick coursing here. So let's just see. Take this dimension.
I had it as 3 of 3.
Yeah, so now we need to make this brick course. So I'm going to add some fat on here to make it a brick course. And this is in your calculator. So you're going to go, so let's just find the closest. So I'll go 3255 divided by 85 equals 38. So let's make it 40 brick courses. 40 times 85 equals 3400. That's a better dimension. Okay. So this guy, select this, the grid. So 3400. Guess what? They're all going to change.
Oh, the basement as well.
The basements are different because you're not going to have a suspended ceiling.
Oh, okay.
You're going to have, and there you can, have you ever seen when you go into a basement, they've got those poles, they restrict the height to 2.2 or 2.3 to prevent vehicles with high roofs to go into a basement. A basement's floor to floor is slightly different. I'm going to leave that now, you can go and play with that.
Okay.
They are fixed. Okay, so we fixed that. We've got our levels correct, and it's all drafted. I started with drafting lines. Now this is to the correct height. Now I can go back to my stair. Now I'm going to use this tool, create a 3D view of your stair in isolation. Okay, so now we need to go and fix the stair because, I'll explain, things have changed. So I want that to go to that, and desired number of rises 20, and I've got 18 at the moment. So I need to fix this. So I'm going to go and edit stair. So now I need to go to top floor. Now these do stairs take a bit of time to work out. Okay, so here it's telling me, so in essence, 19, I need to add one more. If I go over, it's going to tell me there's too many. So technically, that's all you needed to get to this level. So now you need to say, well, do I need it? This is where stairs do get difficult to plan.
Yeah.
So that's why you have to take this. Okay, so let's say finished. So if I go back to 3D view, now you'll see that this has come. Yes, you're going to create a slab where this next landing is. So in essence, that's what it's going to look like. What you've drafted, my treads are 250mm minimum. So here, I'm going to grab this guy. I'm going to copy this guy. And I know that I need 20. Draft where they stop and stop.
Okay.
Then work out how it's going to work in the atrium. So what you might have to do you have a piece of paper here? I'll draft it. I'll explain. Okay, so what you're going to need to do, I'm going to do this quickly just so you understand. Okay, and I need to save this for you. Basically, try and do this now while I'm here. Take your atrium. Now, you're going to start with a pattern. 20. So I've got, try and work out 20. So it might be 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. So
Depending on
basically, what I'll do with your stair in this, I might start here. This is a run, landing. That's a run. Run, landing. Then maybe what you do is this landing is common for all of them. Then the next run starts,
there.
or you need to work out. So maybe the stair does this rather, and then lands. This is your landing, so you come round every time, and then you. But then you can have this open. This can be a void. Then your stair comes up, and then you have a concrete column there, and a concrete column. So where the stair does
With turns.
column, column, column.
Okay.
So basically, let me show how easy this is as well. Insert, so architecture, structural column in this instance. I'm going to go and find concrete square, doesn't matter, all round. Square's fine. Then you put this column. Now watch the spacebar. Spacebar aligns it to any object, so I want it to line there. Then I'll put my column in there, column in there, column in there, column there. Now, with columns, you don't want depth, you want height.
Yeah.
From level 1. Now, with heights, you must tell it to go right to the top floor, 10th floor. I'm just going to put these in very quickly, and just so we know, these you can line up later.
Okay.
And you can change these at any point. But in 3D view, and I create this thing the whole time.
Yeah.
These you can make a lot smaller. Right click, select all instances in view. Then I can make these smaller. I could probably make these guys a bit smaller, but I think they might need to be quite big if they're carrying the whole stair and the stair's floating. Okay. So that's just something that you've got to bear in mind.
The stair goes into the wall.
Yeah, this was just because the wall's a bit, but we can fix that. Yeah, but easy to fix. Edit stair, go to ground floor. So where's that wall running here? Oh yeah, see. Now, you can grab this whole landing. Watch this. You can select everything and move it. Fixed. Now this guy, watch this. If you nudge it and move this, you can move this to the middle of this line work. See what it does, and adjust the landing automatically. This guy, you can move this guy. If you move this guy now, watch what it does. The landing moves with it. This guy now, you can move, put it in right click. So the way you do this, so once you've got it drafted, and you can see the says top sense goes there. So you can nudge these things to work better. But that's it. That's where it stops. So maybe look at the pattern and say, well, it's 5 there, 5 there. Then I'm going to have a landing there. And you can stretch these landings out. You can make them more elaborate.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're doing a spiral staircase, you'll have to do it in halves.
Okay.
Spiral staircases are very tricky to do, okay, in Revit properly.
No.
They're not easy, but this is doable.
I think the stairs in general in Revit is just a pain.
But first, work out how this is going to work. Remember, you're going to have 20 rises per floor. If it's a double atrium, if you have a double volume for that entrance lobby, then you can get that whole thing, you can get it looking good, and then the pattern will change again. Okay. So look and first,
I do have a diagram of like a rough diagram showing, because I had iterated that stair to see this one here. Should I show you that or?
rather take the floor levels that you have now and try and fix it according to the floor levels that we've, because the floor levels changes everything. It calculates, gives you the amount of rises that you need. So by drawing it, no, you've got to do the elevation, get the amount of rises, so that you know the amount of rises, so that you then play with the amount of rises that you have.
Okay.
So you've got 20 rises.
20 rises.
Okay. Then remember, then you can group
rises for each floor.
each floor. If the floor to finished floor height changes, unfinished floor to unfinished floor level changes in any volume, there's more rises added to that, so it might change the whole pattern. So you have to consider that. Okay. So focus on trying to get the levels correct, which we've kind of done, and then focus on trying to get the pattern correct before you go any further. Because it's pointless modeling stuff, because you're going to spend so much time modeling when a series of quick diagrams, which is way quicker than to do than the modeling bit. You can work out how it should work technically, and then
feed it
yeah,
into it.
and then because then if you know what you're working with, to draw the stair is not that complicated because
Yeah.
you know there's 20 rises, starts there, stops there, the width is that, this is that. Then you're not guessing because then it eliminates because what happens now is you spend too much time like in that stair, like you'll spend 3 days trying to get the stair, but it's just
That's
because
literally what I was
yeah, it's because you haven't done this first. This becomes very difficult.
okay.
You understand how I planned it out. I calculated the rises. Then I drafted it very quickly with the correct dimensions. 250 for a tread, 170 for a riser. Okay, minimum. And the 170 maximum.
Yeah.
You can get 168. It must fit the floor height ratio. So, cool.
Okay. I will be able to find this